Hi friends. I'm so sorry it's been a while since I've been here, but I know you all understand. There's some things going on here in my life. And I'll talk more about that later, but I'm so happy to be back. I have some great things to show you and a life update that I will save for the end. And I guess I just need to start by saying thank you. And yeah, as I've mentioned before, thank you is just not enough. And you all, this community has lifted me up and made every day a little easier. And I've seen such an outpouring of love, and I was really, if you saw my last video, you saw that I was really hesitant to burden you all with this, and the support that I've received and the just incredible love and understanding and support and kindness has been remarkable. So I want to thank you all. I've received quite a bit of lovely notes in the mail. I'm going to put a picture here because there's just too much to name everyone. I do want to thank a couple of Flosstubers, and I haven't watched a whole lot of Flosstube, but Marie with Stitches and Diamonds, my friend, you are so lovely, and I'm so grateful for your friendship, and thank you for all of your kind words. Linen and Scraps, Mel. You guys, if you haven't seen Stitching with Mel, or Stitch with Mel, I can't remember. This is a person that you have got to absorb. Her energy is just the most positive and loving and kind that you can ever possibly imagine. So I encourage you to go check out her channel. She is just a lovely human being, and I wish, well, there are many, many lovely human beings that I'm coming to find out there, but I wish there were more folks like Mel. So please go check her out. Mel, I love you, girlfriend, so much. Thank you. Oh gosh, there were some others who, Linen and Scraps, Molly and Kathy. Ladies, thank you so much. I love you too. You guys are amazing. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. And so for everyone out there who's been thinking about me, sending prayers to the family and the kiddos, we're beyond grateful, and we feel it. We feel your love, and I wish there was a way to repay you for your kindness. So with that, I would love to go on, but again, I could go on and on about the kindness of this community for days and never get anywhere. So I love you all. Thank you so much. So back to what I should have said in the beginning. I'm Angie. I am the Tiny House Stitcher. And for those of you who haven't been here before, I live in a tiny house. It's 398 square feet. And in my last video, I asked you all to shoot me some questions and distract me, and you did that, and I'm so grateful. And I've answered quite a few of them in the comments, but I saved some to talk to you about today. And feel free to keep them coming. I love that. I'd love to answer any questions you might have, or it gives me some ideas of things to share with you in these videos as well. So if you are returning, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see. And it's been a while since I've done this, guys. I'm hoping that it's going to go off without a hitch. I've written some notes, but things are kind of up in the air right now, so bear with me. So I guess we'll start with the stitching. I have a start and finish. I started this one on July 29th. And this is called Built on Love by Silver Creek Samplers. And I wanted to stitch this for Shayna. So for those of you who are new, my sweet sister recently passed away, and she and her best friend have been living together for the last 7 years and raising their 7 babies together on a big, beautiful farm with a garden and all kinds of good stuff. So I wanted to do something for her, for Shayna, my sister's best friend, so that something for her to have just to remember her, you know, hers and Dawn's friendship. And so I know this is it's kind of like a marriage sampler, but I changed it just a little bit. And forgive me, I did not iron anything today. I'm sorry, things are just hectic. So this is what I came up with. So I did it normally, but over here in the heart, I put BFF, and that's an S for Shayna and a D for Dawn. And then this says the Sean. I don't know if you can see that. But you know how people do these celebrity couples where they mash their names together? Their friends have mashed their names and called them the Sean. So Shayna and Dawn. So that's what that's about. And I'm going to finish this up and get this to her hopefully very soon. So I did change some of the colors for if you're stitching this. I'm just going to tell you because I know a lot of folks are waiting for some conversions from me, and I don't know when I'm going to get to those. So rather than make you wait, for color DMC color number 3828, I used Threadworks 1158, and that's this pretty variegated purple. For DMC 931, I used Weeks Dye Works Jaybird, and I believe that was for the birds. I wanted them to have a little bit of variegation. And then for the green, because the background, the fabric is green, which is Shayna's favorite color, I needed to change the color of the green, so I changed it to Bayberry. So that's that one. I started that one and finished it on August 7th. So I will be fully finishing that soon. The next one was a start, and this is something that I picked up at the Attic Needlework when I was there back in February, and I was so excited about it. This is, I think this might be the first, no, it's not the first. It was the first 46 count I bought, but I think I've started some other things on 46 count since. This is 'Tis the Season by Blackbird Designs. I'm not a big bird stitcher, so I'm not sure what I am. I know what drew me to this was the model that Jean stitched in at the Attic. It's in this book, Home for the Holidays by Blackbird Designs. And the called for threads for this one are silks, Classic Colorworks Belle Soie, and these are so yummy to stitch with. Oh my goodness. So yummy. And I made myself a little ring bling for it. Can't see it with the ring light. Anyway. And I'm stitching this on 46 count Hazelwood by Fiber on a Whim. And I started this on July 25th. So that's how far I've gotten. I was missing one color, so I kind of put it away for a while, but I have that color now. So I'm going to pick it back up. Kind of washing out a little bit with the light, but isn't that pretty? I'm not sure how I feel about this variegation in these leaves, how it's so stark across this way. I was thinking about ripping it out and going up and down instead. But it's also like that on the model. So see there? I don't know if I like that. So tell me what you think. Should I pick it out and do it vertically? Let me know. So I'm really enjoying working with the silks, and this 46 count is just so, it really, guys, if you can stitch on 40 count, 46 count is not much different at all. I encourage you to try it. And I think it's going to be a perfect size. You can see it's about the size of this book. So I have a couple of frames that I think it's going to just look beautiful in. So that is 'Tis the Season. called for colors. The next one I started was a Sal that I'm doing with Mel and the Bougie Stitchers. And this is Abe's Parade by Finally a Farmer Girl. And I'm doing this on a little bigger count than I usually do because I wanted him to just, I didn't want him to be too tiny for a pillow. So I'm doing this on 32 count Lugana in the color 362 by hand dyed by Rolanda. And it's this really pretty marbled blue color. And so this is as far as I've gotten. We started this on August 1st. I'm using all the called for colors, but the black I chose Anchor. I've been wanting to try Anchor. And it may not be very popular to say, but I don't like Anchor. For me, it feels, DMC is much smoother going through the fabric. I feel like I'm really having to work to get this to stitch. So I don't think I'll be using Anchor anymore. But if you do it and you love it, that's great too. It's just not my thing. So that's the start of Abe, and y'all know how much I love Abe. So I'm excited about that one. That's going to be fun. I think everybody else is farther along than I am, but I'll catch up. I will. The next one is a Sal that I talked about on my last floss tube, and I'm so excited to be doing this with my sweet friend Michelle Hudson of Sacramento, California. We are doing an animal crackers Sal. So Stacy Nash, that name, has a series of these animal crackers. You can make them stand-ups, you can make them a pillow, you can really do whatever you want with them. And this is Scarlet. Oh, I thought it was Clementine. This is Scarlet. And so we started this on August 1st as well. And I've been stitching this a little bit at a time. This is on 40 count Blushing Llama by Wrinkled Fabrics. I have a thread hanging off, I'm sorry. So here's where I am with her. I think she's so cute. I'm going to turn this light down a little bit. There we go. So this is Scarlet from the Animal Cracker series. I've changed a couple of the things. You see she's got this big dress on, and it's beautiful, but it would be more beautiful in purple. So I am using Plum by Weeks Dye Works instead of the Carolina Cecil. So she'll have a purple dress. And then the called for black was Mascara, but by Color and Cotton. But I wanted a little bit of movement and variegation in there, so I changed it to Rustic Black. Oh, no, Mascara I think is Weeks. I changed it to Color and Cotton Rustic Black. So that's Scarlet. She's coming along just fine. You can't really see, but there's actually, I'm down to her collar. All of her white and her muzzle is in, and I'm down to her collar. Next will be that giant dress. That's going to take forever, but at least it's purple. So here are the colors for her, by the way. That's the plum that I got for the dress. Scarlet. And my last start, these have all been starts. It's been about a month since I've seen you last, I think. So as you know, this last Friday was World Cross Stitch Day. What better day to start the ultimate Lady of the Flag? Yes, I started it. I'm so excited. Now, I haven't been home much, so I've been staying with the kiddos. So I started this, but it's not much of a start, and I'll tell you why. First of all, this fabric, oh my goodness. So here's my little start right there. She started, she has begun. And the reason that I didn't do much is because I didn't have anything with me to kind of wrangle this fabric. So it just was too much to handle. So I came home today to do this video and pick up a few things, and I will be gathering some things to help wrangle her a little bit. So that fabric is 30 count Constitution by the Primitive Hair. I'm using all the called for DMC that came from my amazing Stitchy angel. Here are all of the colors. And I made myself some ring bling for her as well. And Mel and I are starting this together. Well, did start this together. We'll be stitching it together. She has to do 2 of them because Mom wants one too. So, Mel, I don't envy you that, honey. That's going to be, woo, that's a lot of work. But I'm really excited about starting that one. So, yay. Those are all my starts in the last month. That was a lot of starts. So, on to whips. I've been stitching on Let Love Rain, which is one of my very favorite stitches that I have going right now. This is Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut. You're all probably familiar with this, with the beautiful blues that Teresa has in there. I started this on April 30th on 40 count Fiber on a Whim in the color Cocoa. Oh, sorry, 46 count. Did I say 40 count? And I'm going to show you where I'm at. And again, I didn't iron, so I apologize. This is where I am. And you can see I've made some changes to this one as well. I changed these flowers across the top to purple. Purples, I should say, because these are purple too. And I left the corner ones yellow. And so I have some purples that I've added in, and I know I've got a couple of folks that are waiting for a conversion from me on this. I can tell you the purples that I've chosen, but I'm not sure where I'm going to use them yet. I can tell you where I think I'm going to use them, but I don't know for sure where I'm going to use them all. So I don't really have a conversion other than to tell you what purples that I've chosen. And those are, where did my 3740 DMC, 3740, 3041, and 3042. Now this 3042, I started using this and I found it to be too light for the flowers. I think I was trying to use it for the flowers. I found it to be too light there, but I will probably use it as a highlight rather than a large chunk of color. I have a ring bling for that one too. So these are all my colors. Now I did want to mention I am keeping a blue. I think she called for 2 blues if I'm not mistaken. I've eliminated 1 blue and I changed the one that was left because it was a little too bright for me. So the blue that I'm using, you can see it here, is 930. So I'll still be using that. I'll probably use it in some of the butterflies or moths, and definitely in his pants, and probably the little blue bird, because you don't see purple birds very often. But I'm doing okay on this. I would have liked to have had more done, but I think I've gotten these 2 in and this bottom line in since the last time we saw each other. And I plan to go down on the borders as I go. So next, once I get this line done, this other flower in, I'll probably go down on the border a little bit more. I have stitched the whole single line border. It just makes me feel better to know that I have room for everything. So I try to put those in if I can. So that's Let Love Rain. Okay. StitchCon, Sal. Some of us that went to StitchCon, I think you can, and you can do it if you didn't go to StitchCon too, because the pattern's out there for anyone who wants it. And if you've been to StitchCon before, you can change the date. So this one says 2022, but you can make that 2018, 2019, whenever you went. This is by, I always forget her name. Barbara, no, not Barbara Hills. Sue Hillis? Sorry guys, please hold. Yeah, Sue Hillis. I always want to say Barbara Hills. Sue Hillis, you know. So this was a sal that we all started after StitchCon as well, and this one's coming along too. This is stitched on 40 count Cafe au lait in the called for colors. And unless I tell you otherwise, everything I stitch is 1/2, except for the bigger count. So that Abe is 2/2 because it's a 32 count. So I did this one last night. It still needs the back stitching and there's a mistake in it, but nobody's gonna know, so it's gonna stay. And I really like the way it's turning out. I love the variegation that she built into these words. They start off lighter and end darker, so that's so pretty. And this is the Keepsakes house, the store, and 310 the cat. So working on that one. That one's been fun. Okay, the last one that I worked on, and I didn't work on this one a whole lot, but this is a sal that I've been doing with Marie with Stitches and Diamonds. And there was a night that I was really having a hard night, and this is the one that I wanted to pick up, and it's Seeking Refuge, and I certainly was. So here is Seeking Refuge by the Scarlet House. You can see that big beautiful house. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. But I've been working on the mortar between the bricks. So I've gotten all of that done so far. And that's kind of, this has been really tedious. I'm not enjoying the mortar. I can't wait to get into the bricks, but all in good time, right? And then this is the dog. The dogs were charted in black, but Sophie Joe is not black, so I wanted to change the color. So I made her Chamomile by Gentle Arts, and I actually replaced Old Hickory with Gentle Arts Chamomile for the whole piece. And then I also replaced Green with Envy. I'm using Gentle Arts Bayberry for that because it was just too kind of, it was almost, I don't want to say neon, but it was that limey green, and I wasn't enjoying that. So I switched over to Bayberry, and then it called for Classic Colorworks Cherry Cobbler, which I did use in these cherries. And you can see it's almost a pinky, I don't know, it's kind of a different color red. And I didn't like it for the bricks. So I have added Classic Colorworks used brick. So you can see the difference in the two colors. This is much more bricky to me, if that's a word. So I'll be doing the house in the used brick, and the fruits or wherever else. Yeah, there's another tree. So I'll use this, I'll continue to use this one for the fruits on the tree. But I'm really enjoying that one. I'll be glad when that one's done up on my wall. Now I have some finishes to show you. Obviously, with everything that's been going on, I showed you one kind of in memoriam, I don't know, piece, and I was working on one for myself. So this is the one that I chose for myself. It's Remember Me by Scattered Seed Samplers. And again, on this one I made some color changes. Purple was also my sister's favorite color, so I changed all the colors. I'm going to put this up so you can take a screenshot if you want to. Do you see that? Hopefully you can read my writing. So this is how it turned out. That beautiful Belle Soie purple, I love that. And I included her name at the bottom, and I'll be making this into a pillow. So pretty. I enjoyed doing that. It was sad, but a little healing. So that was that one. I started that on July 20th and finished it on August 8th. And then the last one I have, this one gave me fits. I didn't enjoy this one as much as I should have, and it's my fault. This is Patriotic ABCs by Barbara Anna, and it was in the summer 2020 issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. I just thought he was so cute. And my plan is to make it a stand-up. So kind of a dome-shaped stand-up. And here is my finished piece. Now, I did make some changes to this. It had an alphabet that I changed to just say Liberty. And when I first kitted up, I didn't have all the colors. So I chose, and I talked about this in my last video, I chose 2 different browns for this area, and you couldn't even see the difference. Once I got those stars in there, you couldn't tell. So I took out all those stars and I replaced it with brown etoile, which is the sparkly fabric or sparkly thread. I don't know if you can see it, but it's really pretty. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. There were some big mistakes in here and I had to tweak stuff a lot to make it work, but it looks good now. So I'm going to finish that into a stand-up. And that's all I have for my progress for now. Like I said, a lot going on, so everything's up in the air. So next on my list is Happy Mail. So I mentioned earlier that I've received so much kindness from you all, and I showed you all the beautiful notes that I received. There were a couple more. I got a wonderful letter from Sweet Fran. She just shared some of her personal experience with me, and it means more than you know. So thank you, Fran. Then I also received another beautiful card. This is from my friend Alice. Alice has sent us charts before for giveaways, and she sent me a lovely note with this as well. But she sent me this pattern, and I just love it. It's by Poppy Creations. It's called Love is Always Present. It says, my mind still talks to you. My heart still looks for you. My soul knows you are at peace. And I love that. I'll probably be stitching this a few times. Thank you, Alice. And then a lot of you in my last floss tube, I was talking about how scared I was that etoile was going to be gone. And so many of you ran out and found the etoile that you either had on hand that you weren't using or picked some up in stores. So Lisa, thank you so much. I got purple, black, and red etoile. For those of you who didn't hear my last one, I encourage you to try this thread. It's amazing, so easy to work with, and it gives a little sparkle. So again, that was Lisa. Thank you so much. And then I got one from the UK. You guys are amazing. This is from Sarah. Sarah sent me this beautiful card. Now I can put these cards up. And this beautiful little package of a toile and some drops. I love it. Thank you so much. 2 colors of purple. You guys know me. Love this. Thank you so much, Sarah. Very sweet. Then, you guys, I have been talking to you about my sweet stitchy friend Michelle Hudson from Sacramento, California. I'm going to put her Instagram handle up here. She has been, we've been talking since just about the time I started Flosstube. And we've been talking almost every single day via text, you know, chit-chatting about cross-stitch and other things. And she's been an amazing friend to me through all of this. And but we never met. We never got together. Things always came up. So we finally got to spend the day together a couple of weeks ago. And she brought me a little package of goodies too. She's so sweet. So this one we had talked about a while ago, and I just love it. This is Liberty Bells from Little House Needleworks. How cute is that? I love that. And then we were talking about, she said she had to get me started on some Prairie Schoolers. And so I was telling her that I had seen one that I really liked. And so she found it in her stash and gave it to me. This is 2006 Santa. So I've got him partially kitted, mostly kitted. So I'm going to start him very soon. Then we have 1998 Santa. 1999 Santa. Oh, that one's cute too. They're all cute. And 2015 Santa. So I'll be starting on those soon too. I want to get at least one on my tree. And to go along with the Santas, I got some Christmas scissors. These scissors are so nice. I really enjoy these. Fun. And last but not least, she went into her Michael's and found a toile. She picked these up for me too. Now I've got a stash, so if they do take it off the shelves everywhere, I will be hoarding these. Now when I went into Joann's the other day, where they originally had the etoile, they now have, it's like yarn. It's in the same kind of skeins, but it looks like just yarn. I don't know what it's used for or if it's stranded or anything. It didn't look like, it just looked like regular yarn to me. So I don't know what that is. Maybe it's wool or something. I don't know. But so thank you, Miss Michelle. And she also, when she was there, found one more of these babies, and I'll show you what's in it. I said, yes, please pick that up for me and I will pay you back. She grabbed it while she was there. Etoile. Oh, well, it's not as pretty now. There we go. Etoile. I don't have every color. Now I do. So I think I probably will keep it all in this tin just so I know where it all is. I love it. Try a toile, guys. It's amazing. It's so pretty in person. Okay, so that was my Happy Mail / I guess that last one's haul. So fun. I don't have a whole lot of haul. But I do have a few things. I don't know if this is considered haul. I had sent Michelle from Mama Loves You GB some patterns that I had that she'd been looking for that I wasn't going to stitch. And so in return, she sent me her Schoolgirl series. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to try these. I've never done a real sampler. This is a set that she's selling, and it's, I believe there are 4, yeah, there are 4 charts in here. The first one is Fanny Lacey, and they all come together for one price. That's Fanny Lacey. This is May Modridge. How pretty to have those hanging in your house. That would be so nice. This is M. Hodgson. And this one, she just showed this one that she did. This is just a little teeny tiny pin cushion. And it was so little. It was like, it fit in the middle, just in the middle of her palm. It was teeny tiny. So I might try that one. And then even do it on like a 46 count, make it a scissor fob. So if you haven't seen those, go check it out. I believe she has an Etsy shop. I love Michelle, she's great. And then I bought 2 charts. I bought this one because a couple of videos ago, I showed you a B-Skep mounting board that I got from Chantel's 151. And I think this will fit perfectly on it. So I love those colors too. So I'm going to try to do that. And then I'm hoping to get some other floss tubers to do this with me. I know Mel's in, but we'll see who else we can get. Some of the other floss tubers are already doing it, so we'll have to reach out to some others and see who's willing to stitch this with us as a round robin. So each person stitches one person and sends it on to the next. So you all have one stitch by all your friends. So I hope we can get that going soon. Love that. Okay. I think that's it. I'm going to pause for just a second, reorganize myself, and I'll be right back. Delphi, come see me. Nope. Okay. Back to the list. Plans. Plans are really hard right about now. I hesitate to make plans. So, I will say that the WIPCO numbers that were called, for this month are 20 and 25. And for me, that is Early Americans and Santa's Sleigh, which is, I believe it's a Nora Corbett. I don't think it's a Mirabilia, but it's by Nora Corbett. And I already have I Call Ursula, which is actually Pearl of the Orient Seas by Bella Filipina going. That's a fancy lady. And I just started Lady of the Flag. So I don't think I want to start another one just yet, so I'm not going to do that one. But Early Americans is a 9-part series, and I have 1 block left. So I probably will try to focus on that, and that's a bigger count fabric, so it'll be easier to see when I'm not at home. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, it itches so bad. So I will be working on Early Americans, and then other than that, I will be working on whatever makes me feel good. That's my plan. So now I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, in the last video, I asked, oh sorry, I kicked the camera. As part of the raffle, I asked you to send me your questions. And so I have lots and lots of questions on there, and again, feel free to keep them coming. But I wanted to answer a few of them here. I answered a lot in the comments, but there were a few that required a little bit more explanation. So I have some of those. The first one was, how do I store my project bags? And honestly, I don't have empty project bags very often. But I did just finish 3, so I have 3. And what I wanted to show you, I really can't answer that for some project bags, but my bags that I make are made with foam rather than batting. So they stand up pretty well. They're still very flexible, you know, but they stand up on their own. So I will take these and just put them on a bookshelf, and they stand just fine. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's how I store them when I'm not using them, is just on a bookshelf. And even when they're full, I put them on a bookshelf with my whips in them. So that's that question. Someone was asking about my finishing business and how to find out more information about that. I have a website, which is www.tinyhousestitcher.com. Really easy. And I don't have prices because what I do is if you just tell me how big your stitch is, what you're thinking you would like, or if you would like some suggestions from me, either way, and then I will send you a quote, an estimate. If you like that estimate, then we can talk about when you want to send them in and how long it takes. Right now, I'm about probably 6 to 8 weeks out. I've had a few orders sitting for a while since all of this has been going on, and ladies, thank you so much for your patience. They've been wonderful, and I am working on those today while I'm home. So yeah, it's 6 to 8 weeks out right now, but I'm hoping to get those going. I think once I get that back to them, they'll go really quickly. So I'm looking forward to getting to those, all these beautiful things that are coming to me. I just love working with them. Well done, ladies. So that's how we do that. There's an actual contact form on my website where you can fill all that out, where you can put in your name and your contact information, and just send me the size of the stitch. If you want a flat fold, if you want an ornament, if you want a pillow, if you want a box top, anything like that. And what I do with those is if it's like out of the ordinary, if it's a wooden piece that it's going to be mounted on, or a box, anything like that, then I will do the piece for a certain price, and then I will ask you to reimburse me for the cost of the mounting piece. So that's how that works. And I'm a really good bargain shopper, just so you know. So if you have any more questions about that, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer those questions. I had 2 people ask me about stitching on 40 and 46 count and how I got started on that. I think for me, I started just like everyone else, 14 count Aida when I was a kid. When I came back to cross stitch, it's been almost 2 years now. Like many of you, there was a whole new world out there. I had no idea what linen was, no idea what overdyed flosses were. There were kits and DMC and Aida when I was younger, and that's what we used. So I worked my way up to 18 count Aida when I was younger. And then when I came back, I was watching Flosstube and everybody was doing it on linen. So I didn't really go back to Aida when I started again. I just started with, I think my first one was 28 or 32 count linen or even weave or whatever it was. And then once you get used to the rhythm of counting 2 holes instead of 1, once you get used to it, it just becomes habit. And it doesn't matter how big it is. If you have the right magnification and the right light, you can do any of it. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. Obviously, you're going to want to use a different size needle if you're going smaller. That makes it a little bit easier. But other than that, there's really no difference. It takes a little bit for your eyeballs to get used to it. And I still, if I'm going to work on a 46 or even a 56, I have one 56 count project, I have to start with that. Like, I can't earlier in the day be working on 36 or 40 and then switch to that. My eyeballs don't want to adjust. But when I for the first project for the day pick up one of those, it's much easier, if that makes sense. So in the same day, my brain doesn't want to go from 40 to 46 or 56. But if I pick up a 56, then I don't have to readjust, if that makes sense. It makes sense to me. I hope it makes sense. Okay. So one of the other questions on that same question about 40 to 46 count was about magnification. And I have shown these before. What I use are called Magniclips. So I wear progressives. Oh, these are really dirty. I wear progressive glasses. And if I took off the progressives and I put on readers, then I wouldn't be able to see the TV, my floss tube, while I'm stitching. So what I found that works best for me is to wear my progressives, sorry about the glare, and then I use these. They're called Magniclips. And this is what they look like. And these are 3.5, so I don't use these very often. These are very, very, very strong. But these clip onto your glasses, so they work like this, and they just clip on. Yeah, so I look silly, but there you go. They clip on, and I can still see over them. So there's lots of different kinds like this, but you can't see, they cover the whole lens. So I can't see over them to see the TV, if that makes sense. So, and these lift up, so if you want to go make a sandwich, you can flip them up, flip them back down. These are the ones I use, Magniclips, and they're lovely. So you can get these on Amazon. I will put a link. I'll put a link down below for them. Now, what I like to tell people is before you invest in those, take a stitch piece to the pharmacy with you. Have your regular glasses on, or no glasses if you don't wear glasses, and try different powers of readers over your glasses to see what strength you need. That way you can order the right strength and you don't have to keep ordering and returning. I have several different strengths because I have some old glasses that I don't really wear that much anymore that I use them for because I can still see far. And they work on those, but they don't work on my newest prescription. Anyway, I feel like I'm just confusing everybody today. I hope this is making some kind of sense. So that's what I would say. That would be my advice if you're planning on getting some of the Magniclips. Go into the pharmacy or the grocery store, wherever you're going. Try on some readers, bring your stitching with you, and figure out what's the best strength for you. Now, one of the other things, I recently was contacted, and I get these emails from folks who want me to try their products and talk about them on the Flosstube, probably easily once a week. And occasionally there's one that I could really use, and one of them was the BenQ Light, which I love. And then there was this one. Now, I've had some others like video games, and I'm like, guys, I don't really think I'm your audience. So some of them are really out there. And then there was one that wanted to send me a stand-up desk. And remember, my office is in the loft, and the loft is only 56 inches high, so I'm doing no standing up there, so that wasn't going to work. So anyway, I got a call from this company or an email from this company called Zinf, and they sell glasses. And I'm not going to get into this right now because I just got them today, so I haven't tried them. But I will say these are big, and I got them big on purpose. Dealing with their website was really easy, and they give you sizes that say these are large frames, or, you know, for the width of your face, they're large, medium, or small. So I got these because I wanted larger ones. And what I did with these was I went to my eye doctor and asked him for a prescription, and I brought my stitching with me. I asked him for a prescription that would allow me to just wear the glasses without the Magniclips. So these already have the strength that I need in the bottom portion, and then the mid portion allows me to see my chart. and then the top portion allows me to see farther for watching Flosstube. So I'm really looking forward to trying these, and I will let you know how it goes in my next video. They did send me some links, and I believe there's a discount code, so I will go ahead and load that on this description. But if you want more information on these, check out my next video, because I will be talking about it a little more then. Okay. Someone asked what my favorite vacation memory with Dawn was. And there are so many. We went to Disneyland when we were kids, Disneyland and Universal Studios. And the pictures that we got there, I don't remember a whole, my memory's terrible. I don't remember a whole lot from the trip, but the pictures just bring me so much joy. There's one where she's laying on the floor underneath Jaws' mouth. Back in the day, they used to have the big Jaws hanging down with his mouth open, and so she was laying down here, and I was pulling on one end of her, and my brother, he's not real brother, but he's my mom's best friend's son. We're both pulling on either side of her, and I just love that picture. The one that keeps coming to mind was a camping trip after my daughter was born. Dawn was only about 15, and just watching them together, just watching her with my newborn baby girl, and so many wonderful memories. So thank you for asking that question. That was a joy to relive. Maybe if I find any pictures, I'll put them up. There were quite a few questions about the tiny house. I'm going to answer those together. But before I do that, a couple more about my floss drop organization. I showed my organization in one of my videos a few videos back, but since then I have made some changes. Every year I do kind of a purge of my house, because one of the things that you come to really enjoy when you live in a tiny house is getting rid of things. So I get to go through my house and just get rid of stuff I'm not using anymore, whether it's to my kids or Goodwill or whatever it might be. I was able to go through my closet and cleaned out half of it. So I have like half of my closet free. And one of the things that was bothering me, I used to have my floss drops on the towel bars that swung out. I don't think I have a picture. If I have a picture, I'll put it in. But having those out in the open where they were getting dusty and where they were getting light, sunlight, that bothered me a little bit. So I decided to buy the Trouser hangers. And Trouser hangers are, I'll put a picture in. These little bars swing out. So they work kind of the same way as the towel thing did, but they're hanging in my closet where I can close it and the dust doesn't get to them, the light doesn't get to them. And so it's not as pretty, but I think it's best. I like it better. So I've moved a lot of my cross-stitch stuff into my bedroom. There's just, my loft is getting a little out of hand. So I thought the things that I reach for the most often, I would move down to the first floor. So, yeah, so someone else asked, how do I organize my stitching stuff? So I also moved my fabrics down into a drawer. And then I also have, I don't have a whole lot of patterns yet. I mean, it feels like a lot, but I have 2 of those magazine box things that I keep my large 8.5 by 11 patterns in. And then I have another box that has a divider down the middle, and that's where I keep my half page size patterns. And I do keep them organized by season, because I don't have a whole lot, so it's not, I don't have enough to organize them by designer, if that makes sense. And then I also have a binder where I keep PDFs and magazine patterns that I like. So that's all of my patterns that I have. I also have, many of you have seen, I can't remember what video it was in, 2 or 3, where I showed where I keep my whips and my kids. And I have 2 storage ottomans where I keep those. I have a round one where I keep my whips. They're really my whips that I'm not currently working on. So the ones that I'm currently working on are in the closet on a bookshelf, as I mentioned, and the ones that are kind of put away for a while on timeout are in one of the storage ottomans. And then I have a larger one that has all of my kitted projects, which I have way too many kitted projects. I probably have 30 in there. But I enjoy kidding too, so that's kind of part of the fun. So, other than that, I FFO pretty much all of my finishes, so I don't keep them too long. I have some of those short tray baskets that I kind of keep them in until I get to finish them. And then for my clients, they each have a box with a lid that I keep all of their things in together with our communication and things like that. So I know what I'm doing with each thing. I also have one of those little toolboxes from out here. We get them from Harbor Freight, and it's a beautiful wooden toolbox. I'll put a picture here. And that's where I keep all of my needles, all of my thimbles, all of my pearl cottons, and, you know, spools of thread and things like that. So that's now in my closet as well too. And other than that, I think that's everything. Everything I use for finishing is up in the loft, along with all of my other craft things. My sewing machine's up there, my cutting board, all of those things. That's where I do most of my finishing work, is up there. So yeah, that's what I do with my cross stitch materials. How did I start cross stitching? My dad and I were the crafty ones in the family, and when I was very young, we did a lot of crafts together. We painted ceramics, like ornaments and nativity scenes and things like that. Then when I got a little bit older, he taught me how to make models. So I would make car models. My family's business is car shows. My dad was a car show promoter. So I would make the models. He would, help me, tell me how to do it. He didn't do it for me. And then I would enter them in the car shows, and I would win awards with all these boys that were making these car models. So I was crafty all along. I took art classes when I was younger, and drawing and all of those things. And when I got to about 12 or 13, I picked up my first cross stitch. And of course, it was one of those little precious moments that we've all seen back in the day, little precious moments in the little plastic pink hoops, and made those for friends. And then when I got a little bit older, I did a framed footprints in the sand for my sister that's still at the house. And then I just got away from it. When my kids are born, life happens. I started quilting a little bit. And then I picked it back up, I think back in 2013 or 14. It was a stocking kit, and I talked about that in my first Flosstube. Just finished that one last year. And then from there, when I picked it up again 2 years ago, it was all over. It went down the rabbit hole. So that's my Stitchy journey. So real quickly, just a few of the things about the house. Someone asked, do I have more time to stitch because I live in a tiny house? And I'll say yes, only because cleaning my house doesn't take as long as cleaning most houses. So maybe a little bit. Yeah, probably. The other ones were, how did I name my channel? So I mentioned that earlier. I am the Tiny House Stitcher because I live in a tiny house. How did I decide what to get rid of? Well, I didn't necessarily get rid of everything. I have a little shed. It's a 10 by 10 shed. So I have some pieces of furniture in there that maybe my kids didn't want, or, you know, a lot of it I kind of rehomed so that I would still know where it was and that it was safe. But there were a couple of things that I didn't want to let go of. I mean, maybe 2 or 3, not a lot, that is out in the shed. So I hope that answers that. There's a lot of pictures and things like that. I found a way to keep them. You know, I put chair railings up high on my walls so that I could keep all my photographs on that, almost like a little shelf, and I have them secured so they don't fall. Lesson learned there. You have to be creative, obviously, to hold on to the things you want to hold on to, but I found a way to keep everything I needed to. And at one point I was living in a 4,000, 4,500 square foot house. So you find ways. And there's a lot of stuff that I just didn't want to keep anymore. You know, that are part of my past that I didn't need to remember anymore, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, a lot of it went to my kids, and I can still visit my pieces that I love so much, and they appreciated it. So I don't miss anything. I have my great grandmother's sewing machine, and that's the one thing that I would not get rid of, and that's here. So how will I display my work in the tiny house? So I've had this question quite a few times, and you know, like I said, I've been stitching seriously since about 2 years ago, and so I don't have any large pieces, and even the mediums pieces that I've done, I tend to make them as gifts, so I don't have a whole lot. But I do have a wall. You can see the wall behind me, and I'm going to tilt the camera just a little bit. See, it is a 14-foot ceiling, so you can see there's quite a bit of space up there. So I've got that whole wall to fill up, which I'm not in any danger of doing anytime soon. So I have that whole wall, and then I also have another wall in my bedroom that is totally blank. So I have a quilt that's been about 90% done for the last 5 years that I may finish and put up on the wall, at least until I get some cross stitch to hang up there. And there are other spots around the house too that I can put things on. So it'll be a while before I run out of space, but that's a great question. I know a lot of people are curious about that. And then the last question I had was, everybody wants a tiny house tour. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. My house is not in any shape at the moment for a tour. And really, I could have done a tour a while back, but I mean, for many months now. But the one part that is not to my acceptance level is the craft room, and I know that everybody's going to want to see that. So that's going to take some time to get sorted out. But in the last month, the rest of the house I haven't been here much. So there are a lot of things that need to be corrected, if that makes sense. There's a lot of laundry that needs to be done. There are things that need to be put away. There are things that, you know, have come into the house that I need to find room for, and so we'll talk a little bit more about that in my life update later. Okay, we'll say that. But I mean, the house, it's not dirty around. It's not what I'm saying. It's just not as organized as I would like for you all to see it. I'm sure you can understand that. So yes, absolutely, and I want to do it so bad, but right now there's just no way, and we'll talk about that later. So I think that's all. Oh, let's do the giveaways real quick before I move on. Now, I'm not going to do a giveaway this video because I just can't. I don't have time right now. I wish I could, but I just can't. So I'm sorry. But I do want to announce the last giveaway winners. The first one we have is All Dolled Up by Little House Needleworks. So cute. And the winner of that one is Nancy Malcolm. Congratulations, Nancy. The next one is A Halloween Year 2 October Crow House by Hometown Elegance. And the winner of this one is Janet Platt. Congratulations, Janet. Number 3 was by Mill Hill. It's called On the Prairie, Hearts and Buds. And the winner of that one is Desiree Feister. Congratulations. And then we have 100 Years by Lizzie Kate. And the winner of that one is Letha Caltagarone. I hope I said that right. Letha, my friend, congratulations. And lastly, I was giving away this printed DMC card because I bought the one with the floss in it. So it's lightly used, but still in great shape. And the winner is Susan Ann Millicus. So congratulations. So email me. My email address is in the description box. Email me and send me your mailing address, and I will get these out to you as soon as I possibly can. It might be a week, but I will try to get them out as soon as possible. So that's it for giveaways. The next thing will be my life update. So if that's not something you want to hear, I totally get it. I hope it won't be too depressing this time. So if you're moving on, thank you so much for stopping by. And if you're staying, thank you for hanging in there with me. So I've been trying to figure out how best to tell you what's going on, because there are things happening that I really can't talk about. But I will say that I have been staying with the kids all the time. Today's my first day home since last Wednesday. And I'm not sleeping here. I'll be going back and sleeping there. And I'll let you kind of infer what that means. There are a lot of things in motion, and the kids are doing as well as can be expected. There are always struggles when something like this happens. Some struggles are worse than others, and some situations are worse than others. And I'm doing my best to give them a happy, healthy life and living situation. So I will keep you updated as much as I can. I'm hoping by the next time I come back, I'll have some really good news for you to share with you. But in the meantime, I would love it if you'd keep those prayers coming. We did have, Dawn's birthday was on August 3rd. So I'm going to insert a couple of pictures of our little celebration here for you to see. And this coming Saturday will be her celebration of life. So we'll get through that and then find a new normal. But again, I want to thank you all so much for all of your prayers, all of your kind words, some of you who were so kind to make donations to the GoFundMe account. You know, I'm not one to ask for money, ever. And I would never do it if I had any other option. So many of you have been so generous with your love and your support and your prayers, even thoughts. We feel it, and we're so grateful. And for those of you who contributed financially, there are no words. I'm a complete stranger. These kids are complete strangers, and I'm so grateful. So God bless you all. Thank you, thank you. I hope you and your loved ones are safe and happy. Please keep your loved ones close. keep an eye on them. Let them know how much you love them, because life can change drastically overnight. And you never know when it's coming. And I know you know that, but we all need a reminder every once in a while, right? So, my friends, I'm going to leave you now. I'm sorry this was a little all over the place. We'll get back to normal, I promise. Enjoy your stitching, and I will be thinking about you until the next time. Again, bless you all. Thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, click, 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 click. Click. Get in here.